Hi YouTube, it's been a week since the last video.
Hi YouTube.
It's time for a recap of the chronometer data and the weight evolution of mine. Oh, the floor is low. So, context. I've been a high-carb vegan for 12 years. At least 80% carbs among the calories, and following John Ryder for a long time. I'm glad I found him as well as freely. So at the beginning I lost lots of weight because I was doing it mostly fruitarian, and then when I included more starches in general, I gained a bit of weight, but not that much. Anyway, he says that you can be a low BMI when you include starch, as long as you keep the protein low too. So low fat and low protein, which means 10 grams of fat a day max, and something like 40 grams a day max. That's the boundaries. It's nice to have boundaries, and now I want to make it strict because, as you can see, I'm not at my leanest and I want to be a bit leaner. So let's do it. I know it works. I've added lots of refined sugar in the past and I didn't gain any weight. I know sugar doesn't make people gain weight. It's a protein, it's the fat. As soon as there's a calorie surplus, the excess fat and the excess protein are not forgiving. That's it. But the excess carbs is fine. But for some reason, the excess carbs is demonized in our society. Anyway, let's see the chronometer data right now. Alright, let's look at my days on chronometer, and we start with the 2nd of May. Oh, so I had water, bananas, sugar, carob, and more fruit for lunch, banana, strawberry, blueberry, apple, spinach, pineapple, mango, and at night rice, white rice obviously, sweet potato, a bit of chickpea and asparagus, and that's it. So the surplus is 371. It's a small surplus, but I didn't want more. I didn't feel like I needed more. And 3 liters of water, the usual. Okay. Next day. That was the first day of my hike, which was happening on 3 days. And in the morning I had fruit again, grapes, bananas, peaches, pineapple juice for at 10 a.m. and also dried plums for lunch, a lot. Yes, and then I arrived at the guest house and explained to the lady what vegan was, so that she wouldn't add any bad stuff, any animal products on my food. That was the priority, and I did well because she intended to give me cheese. I was like, no, it's no way. I'm not eating cheese. So she made patties of potatoes that was fried in the pan, and there was some oil on the salad and some oil on the pasta. Oh. If I was at the restaurant, I would have taken my paper napkin to absorb the oil, to remove it. But I was in front of 5 people. I felt it was rude to remove the oil this time, so I didn't do it. Anyway, I think I had like 1 tablespoon of oil at that dinner. I also ate bread, white bread, some beets. Yeah. Anyway, the total of fat on that day is 41 grams. Not cool. But the previous day was 7.8. And okay, on that day with a high fat, I didn't even had a surplus, so balanced, equal calories. And protein is a little higher too, but that's it. Anyway, I was satisfied, and by the way, this oil still gives me pimples, and they are still healing now, 1 week later. I don't like oil. It doesn't taste of anything. Okay, it has some texture and it can have some smell depending on the kind of oil, but it's not worth it. Oil sucks. Next day, water, baguette, jam, canned fruit, herbal tea with sugar. That was the breakfast at the guest house, and then I left and did another hiking day. I had grape juice and bananas on the hike. It was rainy, not so fun. It's on my French YouTube channel, Douce Frugalité. And at 4 p.m. I had some cereal bars, and well, they had some fat in them, but not too much, and that's just it. I don't think I would buy them again. And for dinner, I didn't eat at the hotel because all they had is animal products with starches, so I didn't even bother checking, trying to negotiate a dinner. No way. I just bought my stuff at the supermarket. So that was rice crackers and salsa sauce and chestnut cream, and that's it. I was happy with it, ready to go to bed. Yeah, I needed to sleep a lot after all this hiking. Anyway, there's a calorie surplus, 574 calories, and I was satisfied, as always. Okay, and if you look at the net carbs, it's 840 grams of carbs. Yeah, hiking makes you hungry, especially in the mountain. Okay, and that's 24 grams of fat on that day. And that's because of the cereal bars. It's annoying. They like to add a bit of oil in the cereals, and oats naturally have some amount of fat. It's annoying. Okay, next day, the 5th of May. Third day of the hike, and I was so sick of eating all the time. I forced myself to eat, just letting you know, because I needed to have energy, to hike alone in the mountain. I wanted to be safe. Okay, anyway, lots of water, orange juice at the hotel. Well, not fresh, obviously. They also had a bit of fruit, so I ate them all. Kiwi fruit, apple, and an orange. I had as much bread as I could with jam and sugar in the orange juice. Then during the day I ate dried bananas, oil-free, and an apple. No, yes, only one apple. That was the apple from the hotel in the morning. Okay, and then I come back home and I smash a huge pack of glass noodles. They are sweet potato noodles, so tasty. It was a big pack, but I wanted it and I ate it, no problem. And the sauce was tomato, sugar, and curry powder. Okay, and on that day there's a calorie deficit, but I wasn't more hungry. I really tried, but I had enough food. And yeah, 10 grams of fat on that day, and yeah, deficit of 408 calories. Next day is the 6th. I didn't exercise on that day because I just wanted to rest after these 3 days of crazy hiking. It's not usual, it's just something that happened now, last week. Okay, so again, water and a super sweet melon, a cantaloupe melon. It was the sweetest cantaloupe melon I had in my life, I swear. Okay, and then I had dates with carob, sugar. That was a small smoothie to complete the melon in the morning. And then I just baked potatoes and dipped them in ketchup. So that's very low fat too. Yeah, and sriracha. I like some sriracha in my ketchup. And then for dinner, sweet potato with potato and cucumber. And that's it, no sauce. I just wanted that simple meal after eating so much dried stuff on the hike. And that's it. And as a result, the fat intake is super low. 3 grams of fat on that day. Cool. And the protein is not too high, it's 35 grams, and that's enough. And I had a small calorie surplus of 67 calories. Okay, next day, there's a higher calorie surplus, as you can see, 358 and 5.5 grams of fat. That's very little, but that's perfect for weight loss. I wouldn't do that if I was too skinny, okay? I would eat a bit more fat if I was too skinny. Yeah, and that day, 2% fat among the calories. That's the fast way to lose weight. Plus the exercise I did. But we'll talk about the weight loss at the end, okay? Okay, so water, grapes, mango, clementines, apple, sugar, and bananas, and carob and sugars. Okay, so that's a whole fruit in the morning, and then a smoothie with added sugar. So that's perfectly Johan Rider protocols. Then I rode my bike. That was with the bike club, and yeah, that was enough. And then for dinner, I had sweet potato with white rice and curry powder, stock cube, sugar, and 2 hours later for dessert, I had some chestnut cream. I just use a spoon and I eat my chestnut cream like that. That's it. It makes me happy. Okay. Protein is also low and carbs are high. Perfect. And then the 8th of May, that was yesterday, yeah, a small, very small surplus. I'm not too hungry. Huh? Eating so much sugar reduces my appetite, so I'm satisfied with adding so much sugar. Okay, water, dates, bananas, carob, and peaches, and sugar. That was the smoothie in the morning. Then I rode my bike. Yeah, quite for a long time. And before the ride, I had a cordial with water. And that's fruit syrup. We have this thing in France. It's very practical. You find it in every shop. It's an easy way to have sugar. You don't even need to blend it. You just pour it and add water on top of it, and then you can drink it straight. It's perfect. My favorite is the peach syrup. I didn't really have a lunch on that day because my breakfast was so big. I was not hungry till 4 p.m. So that was a huge smoothie. You can see the numbers. And then for dinner, again, sweet potato, rice, sugar, and some more syrup after the meal. Like 1 hour after the meal. I still wanted a bit of sugar, just a bit. Okay, so not really many extra calories, and 5.5 grams of fat on that day, low protein, which is good for weight loss, 28 grams of protein on that day, and 675 grams of carbs. The percentage of fat is 2% on that day, all good. And this time I was not lazy, I calculated the balance of calories for the whole week. The total calorie balance on that week is 977 kilocalories, which equals an average of plus 140 calories per day. I know it's not much, but I really had enough. And you shouldn't force yourself to eat more unless you're too skinny. And I'm not too skinny, so I'm good. And now, time to check my weight. Okay, what does the scale say? After 1 week, 60 kilos. And now let's look at the weight graph. So it's not a straight line that goes down, it fluctuates a little, and that's minus 2 kilos in 2 weeks. That's fast weight loss. And it happened because I also exercise, which means I breathe more and I burn more fat. That's it. But you don't need exercise to lose weight, it just accelerates the process. Conclusion, 95.5 works.